Let's be honest, add-ons are pretty much a requirement nowadays if you want to do anything in the endgame. Regardless if you want to raid, do Mythic Plus, or even just collect transmog and mounts. You will probably have a way easier time if you just get yourself an add-on that will help you make your life a little bit easier. And if you want to stock up on add-ons for the upcoming 11.1 update on February 25th to make your experience a bit better while raiding or just collecting stuff, this video is for you. But before we even can begin with the add-ons, how do you even install add-ons in the first place? If you didn't know, there are actually multiple ways of installing an add-on to your client. The first method is basically doing the old school method, which is installing the add-on on a website like CurseForge and then manually adding the file into your add-ons folder in your game files. Although this method wouldn't require you to install any external clients, it is the slowest one of them all. So if you want to have an easier time installing and even updating your add-ons in the future, consider getting yourself the CurseForge app or the WowUp.io client, which are basically the same thing. I personally use CurseForge, but I heard many good things about WowUp, so this is just your personal preference at this point. Once you installed one of the clients, it will find the installed WoW versions for you and therefore make it easier installing add-ons between all the versions of WoW. Now, all you have to do is select the correct version of the game on the right and then search for whatever add-on you want to install. If any of your add-ons get an update, you will be able to simply download the new patch by pressing the update button. So all in all, this is the fastest and easiest way to keep your add-ons up to date. Alright, now that we know how to install add-ons, let's begin with the first add-on, WEAKAURA. This add-on offers the player basically an unlimited amount of freedom and would offer enough content to create a whole separate video about it, but today I'm gonna try and keep it simple. You can track any cooldown, buff or debuff in the game, offer you a better visualization of procs or stacks that otherwise might be hard to read in hectic situations, warning you if you're missing crucial buffs like Iron Fur on your Guardian Druid, or just simply giving you the possibility to create yourself a better overlay and UI design. It might look daunting and confusing at first, but if you don't want to spend 10 hours of your time just to understand this add-on, you can go over to WEAKAURA.io, where you will most certainly be able to find a WEAKAURA pack that fulfills all your needs. Once on the website, you can search for what you need, depending on your class or content you're doing. Once you find a WEAKAURA pack that you want to import to your client, simply click the copy import string button and paste it into your WEAKAURA add-on right here. One of the WEAKAURAs I can definitely recommend if you're playing any type of endgame content is the ability timeline WEAKAURA, which displays the cooldowns of enemy mobs you're fighting, which makes tracking dangerous abilities and managing your own defensive so much easier, especially if you're playing a healer or a tank. Next up is LEATRIX Plus. This add-on offers you a huge amount of quality of life options which enhance your gameplay experience by a large margin. You can automate things like selling trash items or repairing your gear automatically once you speak to a vendor, which I know many people forget to do every now and then, because I forget to do it every now and then, which if you do forget may require you to repair in the middle of a raid or Mythic Plus key, costing you some necessary time. Other than that, you can block certain things like duels, party invites, friend requests and so much more. This add-on goes so deep, like making your loot be collected faster, added health bars, change the visuals of frames altogether, and many more things. All in all, if you want to have a better way to control certain things in the game, this is the add-on for you. You can also install the LEATRIX Maps add-on, which goes very well with LEATRIX Plus, making your entire map visible so you won't have to explore every zone in order to see it on your map, and more quality of life changes for your map and minimap, like rescaling options. Moving on to the third add-on, which is for every new player or players that want to try out a new spec or class in the game. If you ever wanted to try out a new spec but were quickly overwhelmed by the sheer amount of buttons and complex rotation, HEKILI is exactly right for you. This add-on will visually show you which buttons to press next in order to get your rotation right, and therefore deal a lot more damage, for example. This add-on basically does your entire rotation for you, no matter if it's AoE or single target. As long as you press the button it tells you to press, you will be good to go. Now, some people might say that this add-on is just another tool to promote laziness in the game, but I actually don't believe this is true. HEKILI does your rotation for you, yes. But once you learn your core rotation and are able to efficiently switch around a few spells, you will most definitely deal more damage than the rotation recommendation of HEKILI. See this add-on as a stepping stone or training wheels. You will only use this add-on to get comfortable with your spec, and once you understand it and know what to press at certain situations, this add-on will become useless pretty much. Now before we continue, over 95% of you guys aren't subscribed yet. So if you don't want to miss out on any of my future uploads and help me on my journey to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year, consider subscribing to my channel channel. I appreciate every single one. Also, if you enjoyed this video so far, consider liking it. Anyways, that's enough self-plug. Let's get on with the add-ons. Coming in at number 4 is OMNICD. OMNICD is the perfect add-on if you want to track all your party cooldowns. If you want to know if your priest has power infusion up, if your paladin has wings or bubble up, whatever you want to track, you can track. It's very customizable as far as selecting what spells you even want to track, where you want them displayed, and how you want them displayed. It's awesome for a Mythic Plus environment, especially if you're playing a tank or a healer. Having all those information about other players allows you to adapt your playstyle in those roles. For example, if you're playing a tank and you want to see if you and your team could potentially handle a huge or dangerous pull, you can first check if your team has their major offensive or defensive cooldowns up to handle the amount of mobs you're about to pull. And as a healer, you can check if you have to put out big heals to save the tank because he has his defensives on cooldown, for example. OPIE is another one of my favorites, just because of its sheer usefulness alone. OPIE allows you to create these rings in which you can put in pretty much anything you want. You can fill out one ring with your mage portals, one with your endgame consumables, and one with your pets and mounts if you wish to do so. This is especially useful for key items that come in very handy in certain times but are not worth wasting a keybind for, like a repair bot or your summoning portal for warlocks. For your raid leaders out there, it might even be useful to add target markers or world markers to these rings. This add-on goes as deep as allowing you to put different macros in the rings, allowing you to switch specs on the go, for example. When I first got this add-on back in Dragonflight, I thought I would only use it for my mage portals, but ever since then I've been using it for pretty much everything. Now this might be controversial. For anyone that wants to get into high-end raiding or Mythic Plus, DBM or Big Wigs is basically a must-have, whether you like it or not. These two add-ons do basically the same, so it's all a matter of personal preference. And all these add-ons do are warn you of boss mechanics during combat. So if a boss casts a dangerous spell or goes into an intermission phase, this add-on will let you know. It simplifies the boss fights by making everything that's going on your screen way more understandable and readable by giving you audio cues or visual warnings like flashing your screen red if you stand somewhere where you shouldn't be standing, and all in all makes these fights a bit easier. Many people in the WoW community hate add-ons like this, and I would also love it if Blizzard somehow found a way where these add-ons wouldn't be a necessity, but until the time being, it unfortunately is required for you if you want to have a realistic chance at endgame, and therefore making it one of the most popular and important add-ons to have on this list if you're interested in endgame content. Following up is the Details add-on. Now, there are many different stat tracking add-ons out there, but from my experience I can confidently say that Details is by far the best out of all of them. At first glance, this add-on simply tracks your damage done in a fight or overall, but if you right click, you will see that it tracks so much more. You can track your group's healing done, the spells cast, interrupts, damage prevented, and much more. The simple-minded people will usually use this add-on to flex on people with their DPS, but if you actually want to improve your gameplay in whatever role you're in, this add-on is a must. If you're in a raiding environment and two other healers of the same spec are completely outperforming you, you can hover over their healing done and see what they cast, when they cast it, and how many times they use their spells, and compare it to your own output with a simple click up top. On number 8, we have the Plater add-on. This add-on is your typical nameplate add-on, granting you a better and cleaner overview of buffs and debuffs on the target compared to the default Blizzard UI. This is a massive add-on though, which could make you spend hours finding the best settings for your own personal playstyle. But luckily for you, there's a dedicated segment on the previously mentioned Wago.io website with pre-built Plater profiles. I tried a lot of them, and my personal favorite is the Plater profile of another YouTube content creator called Quasi, who has been updating his profile with every season and every patch that came out, and offers the best settings overall for any type of content you do. Enemies with dangerous frontals are colored differently than ranged mobs, for example. Cast bars have different colors depending on whether or not you should kick or not. It's just perfected in my opinion. You can get his profile on his website, which I have linked down below in the description. This next add-on on the list is for everyone that loves taking pictures in-game or just wants a cleaner panel display. I'm talking about NARCISSUS. One of the biggest features of this add-on is probably the photo mode, where you can basically take screenshots that wouldn't otherwise be possible. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, it allows you to add different WoW models and put them in poses and places where you wouldn't usually find them. You can even give your monk demon hunter wings and create funny screenshots and create custom stories that way. And if you're not interested in the photo mode at all, there are still quality of life changes that might get you to download this add-on after all. So first off, if you're AFK for a longer period of time or click on the Narcissus button, you will get a completely revamped character panel, displaying your gear on the left as usual, but also showing you in-depth stats on the right, like damage reduction, reduction, dodge chance, and much more, which is rather hard to see on the default character panel in my opinion. The most useful feature in my opinion of the add-on is that it shows you the exact talent build of your target once you inspect them and allows you to copy their build directly from this little panel right here. So if you want to make improvements in your gameplay and see someone else performing better than you can simply copy his talent build and perhaps get a little bit more damage or healing in. So whether or not you're a casual creative world builder or competitive endgame raider, this add-on finds its uses for everybody, especially since there are things that I haven't mentioned yet since it has so many features, but you can discover them yourselves if you're interested. I can also imagine that this add-on would be a perfect addition for all the people that want to share their player housing once it gets released in the new expansion. And to top off this list of 10 add-ons, we will now need an add-on that keeps our minimap clean and tidy. All these new add-ons probably cluttered your minimap to now look like a teenager's bedroom. And since you don't want to get rid of these buttons, I would recommend you getting the minimap button add-on, which throws all your add-on buttons in this little box right here, making your minimap once again usable, but still keeps the add-on buttons in a very reachable spot. If you don't like in general that these add-on buttons instantly latch onto your minimap once installed, you can move them all with the add-on as well, since you can just move the button and place it wherever you'd like, giving you another layer of personality in your UI. If you want to find out about secrets in Kazalgar you have probably never heard of, click on this video right here. And if you enjoyed this video, consider giving it a like and subscribing to my channel. It really helps out a ton and shows me what you guys want to see and what you guys enjoy. Anyways, that's it from me, and I wish you all a great start to the Undermined update.